Gold is supposed to be a safe asset, and yet I've watched incredibly smart people lose real money owning it. Not because gold failed them, but because they made a handful of avoidable mistakes. Wrong product, wrong timing, wrong expectations. I'm Eric with Summit Metals, and I've been in the financial markets for over 30 years. I've seen gold at $300, and I've seen it all the way now to well over $4,300 an ounce. The biggest losses I see in gold don't come from volatility. They come from behavior. So let's walk through the 5 mistakes I see when people buy gold and how you can avoid them. The most common mistake: overpaying for exclusive, limited, or collector gold when your goal is investment. High premiums feel invisible on the way in and painfully obvious on the way out. We had someone come to us who'd spent years buying beautiful limited run coins. He thought he was diversifying. When he went to sell, the market didn't care about the story, only about the liquidity. Great gold, wrong application. He didn't lose money because gold went down. He lost money because the exit was narrow. If you're buying gold as a store of value, liquidity matters more. That's why bars and widely recognized coins consistently outperform novelty products over full cycles. Examples of those type of coins includes things like the 1 ounce gold Britannia, or all the way down to the 1 gram Scottsdale bar, or my favorite, the 1 ounce gold Buffalo. But if you're starting with Eagles and you want to start smaller, the fractional 1/10 is one of our very most popular products. These products consistently outperform novelty products over full cycles. At Summit, when someone says, "I want gold as protection," we immediately steer them toward liquid products, not because they're exciting, but because they work. Before you buy, ask yourself one question: how easily can I sell this, and at what discount? If the answer is unclear, premium isn't an investment, it's friction. Next, people love gold when they're scared. The mistake, though, is buying gold only when fear is high. Markets wobble, headlines get ugly, and suddenly gold feels urgent. That's usually the worst time to go all in. We routinely hear, "I've been meaning to buy gold for years. I just waited too long." In reality, they didn't wait too long. They waited for fear to force the decision. Gold works best when it's accumulated deliberately, not rushed or done emotionally. Professionals build gold positions when it's actually boring. Retail investors tend to chase it when it's loud. You don't need perfect timing. You need a plan that removes emotion from your decision. That is why Summit stackers use the stage or periodic purchase approach. With our Auto Invest program, not to outsmart the market, but to make the smart decisions. The third mistake I see is expecting gold to act like a growth asset. Now, we've had an amazing experience over the last year in both gold and silver with huge gains, but you have to understand this is actually not normal. It's not normal that gold is up 50, 60% over a year. Gold is not a stock. It's not a startup. It's not a momentum trade. And it's not supposed to compound at more than double-digit rates every year. Gold's job is actually different. It preserves purchasing power over long periods of time. It performs when confidence in paper fiat assets break down. We've had people call frustrated saying, "Gold isn't doing anything." And the honest answer is, good. Gold working quietly is usually a sign the system hasn't fully cracked yet. When people expect gold to behave like a growth asset, they get impatient and they sell it at exactly the wrong time. Gold isn't exciting by design. That is the feature. Now, most mistakes aren't made at purchase, they're made after. The next mistake is ignoring storage, access, and of course, the exit. Where is it stored? How quickly can you access it when you need to sell? How clean is your exit? Home storage, bank boxes, third-party vaults, each have their trade-offs. We once worked with someone who had gold spread across 3 locations, their home, a bank box, and a private vault. When they needed liquidity, coordinating access took weeks. The gold was valuable, the logistics were not. What matters isn't where you store your gold so much, it's that you choose deliberately and understand how you'll sell when the time comes. At Summit, we spend as much time talking about exits and storage as we do about buying. Because if you wait until you need liquidity to figure that out, you've already lost your leverage. Now for mistake number 5. And this is the biggest one, not defining why you own gold. If you don't define gold's role in your portfolio, every price move feels confusing. Is it insurance, a hedge against currency debasement, a long-term store of value? Because insurance isn't traded and hedges aren't judged week to week. We see many investors looking at gold on a daily basis, almost like a swing trader or a day trader. Our belief is you should look out months, if not years ahead. We've seen our stackers sell gold during corrections, then buy it right back at a higher price, simply because they never decided why they owned it in the first place. Once gold has a clear job, the noise fades. The decision making gets dramatically easier. So to bring it all together, gold isn't about predictions, it's about positioning. In the next video, I'll break down the mistakes people make with silver, which is a completely different animal. If this helped, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Are there more mistakes you notice people are making with gold? Leave them down in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in and happy stacking.